here with Stefan, the product manager over at SolarPop. And Stefan, thank you so much for joining us here on the channel.
Bruce, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here. We've been obviously collaborating with SolarPop for quite a while now. If you've been following our Pokemon series, we're doing tons of stuff there. And it is Christmas time. Christmas is upon us already. And I think it's time to chat about some family games. We're talking a lot about Pokemon, a lot about one-on-one battles, a lot about competitive stuff. And I think here, if looking at the selection that SolarPop sent us to have a look at, we have a good variety of everything from competitive games to stuff you can play with the whole family. So, Stefan, why is like Christmas time and this, for you guys at SolarPop, why is it, what is it about Christmas and board gaming that just works together so beautifully?
Well, I think it's about bringing people together. Yeah. This is the time of the year where you have a lot of friends over, you're going to have lots of family over, and you're never going to want to find a way to pass the time. And board games is a perfect chance to do that. You've spoken about card games. There's obviously role-playing games. There's all sorts of tabletop games you can play. But I think board games is the easiest segue for more casual players, people who don't have too familiarity with playing games. You can explain the game to them very quickly. There's a different range of games. I mean, there are games that take about 15 minutes to play, and there's games that will take you a couple of hours.
You play Monopoly or Risk, you play over days. You're going to be going on the old classics.
2 players, 10 players. Different complexity levels. And I think it's that versatility with the board games that whether you want to play with your cousins, your friends, or your grandparents, there really is something to involve absolutely everyone.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's funny enough, one of the things that we've been thinking a lot about board gaming and where we've come in the last year and a bit. And I think we are seeing a bit of a resurgence in the board game industry, in the tabletop industry. And I think that board games give us something tangible as well to pick up. Instead of just plugging and playing on a screen or on a monitor, these are load shedding proof. You can get it with your family, you can have something tangible, you can laugh, you can make mistakes and learn and sort of go off each other as you go through the whole gaming experience.
It's exactly as you say. I think during COVID, people changed their mindsets a little bit about entertainment. You were forced to. You weren't able to go out anymore, do the things, whether your pastime was playing sports or going to the gym or going to the movies for that matter. Suddenly you find yourself, with the family, kind of needing to spend some time together. And that's what's great about the games. It's that face-to-face interaction you see. It's that social element that's there. Maybe you were a couple that, had to find a way to entertain yourselves that wasn't just binge-watching series or something like that. And you said as well, obviously, unplugging a little bit. It's the screen time. I think these days you sit behind a computer all day. Then you switch it off for a big screen, you sit in front of the TV, and then later on, to relax, to take a break from that, you pull out your mobile. But you're just rotating between different types of screens. And those aren't necessarily social activities. You can do them together, but you can only chat that so much during a movie or a show before someone tells you to keep quiet. Whereas the board games encourages that
interaction.
I know at our house, we've got load shedding typically between 6 and 8 to 8 and 10 every night. So we almost, without fail, basically 5 nights a week we play Catan.
It's scheduled board game time, basically.
Exactly. And it's, as you say, it's load shedding proof. You don't need anything other than a couple of friends and a table. And there you go.
Yeah, that's what we've got here. We've got this really awesome spread of, like you say, everything from a 15-minute game to several hours. You can pretty much pick up anything.
Yeah, whenever people tell me that they're not gamers, I like to contest that and say everyone's a gamer, they just need to find the right title.
Exactly.
If you are someone that loves wine or farming, and there's a game called Viticulture. That is literally about being a wine farmer. We've got Wingspan over here.
So my background is actually in zoology. So I got this and I was like, this is insane. I'm so keen to see what this is about.
You never would have imagined that an ornithology-themed game would end up being the game of the year. I think it was 2020 or 2019 or so, and it's just popular to this day. And there really is absolutely something for everyone. If we look at something like Ticket to Ride, I mean, we like to describe this as Rummy on rails.
I like that.
Anyone that likes Rummy, collecting the sets and so on, a bit of strategic thinking, building the patterns, you'd love this, except you're playing almost as a railroad baron. You're trying to connect different cities across North America. The longer route, the more points you get, and you're competing for space naturally. So a bit of resource management, creative, it's actually helped my geography as well. We play the North American version quite a lot. I also like the European edition. And now if someone were to ask me about a city in North America, I could with relative ease pinpoint it on a map.
Yeah, you've literally built a railway in that direction. No, so I think that's great. It's like there's always a learning element to these things. And funny enough, when our family, when we have our Christmas days, we actually incorporate some of these games, or Fight Second was definitely one of them, into our Christmas day. So we actually have a Christmas function where we all get together and we've made a game that comprises lots of mini games. So because like you say, at Christmas you've got everyone from the cousins who are 2 years old all the way up to the grandparents, who would incorporate everyone. We have a game where like there's gifts going around and you have to complete little challenges. So we actually have things like 5-second rule, where you draw a card from the thing and it might say 5-second rule, and you have to compete in a game of 5-second rule, one round quickly with a friend, trying to figure out can you name 5 things in 5 seconds. So there's like so many different ways to play as well. It's not just you not necessarily locked into like, because I think people sometimes feel that they're like locked into a board game day or a board game evening. It's like, oh, this is going to take 6 hours to play. There's so many different ways to play as well.
I mean, you're describing for me what is like the ideal Christmas. You know, have some good food, have a couple of drinks, have some people over, and just sit and play some games. And that's exactly it. Whether you're a really franchise player or whether you're someone that's very casual, there is a game for you. If you're a diehard game and you want to sit down and you want to go through a 30-page rule book, and you know you almost have to pull tables together to fit the board, there's a game like that for you. If you want to sit and play with 2 people, play 10 minutes, 5 people, 10 minutes, whatever the case might be, there's a range for you. I mean, our party-style games, we almost classify them that because I would say the rules are simple, the play is simple, and the time is very quick. I should be able to explain the game to you within 10 seconds. We should be able to play it within 10 minutes, and it should have anything from 2 up to 10 people that can accommodate.
And I think 5-second rule is perfect for that, because I mean, that's like literally you playing, you trying to name 5 things in 5 seconds. You've explained it in 10 seconds and you're scoring points and moving across the board.
Exactly. Super quick play time. You can play with the board in this addition to the end, or what we tend to do is when we have Brian, we have some friends over, you don't have to sit down at the table. You just stand wherever you are. If you're by the braai and other guys in the kitchen, you can just call out the prompt. You get it right.
And 5 beer brands.
And what I like about this, I know 30 seconds is a very popular South African game. I love playing it as well. Because I love quizzes, I love general knowledge. 5-second rule is a bit more open-ended, the questions. It's not a specific answer you're trying to give. Anything that matches the prompt is an acceptable answer as long as your teammates agree.
Anything's acceptable within the confines of the group.
If I said name 3 things that scare you, my mother-in-law is as valid an answer as a spider. You know, an adult might give the one and a kid might give the other answer. If it fits, and you can get the points.
And I think the nice thing about a game like this is it actually creates lasting memories beyond the game, because those little moments of things that scare you bring out these little unscripted moments amongst families that end up becoming family jokes, and you end up reminding 5 Christmases of, hey, remember when Fred was frightened of John's mother-in-law, and now they're best friends. And it's like, it does, like, you actually create little running family jokes from games like this that actually sort of
it's lasting memories.
And you can go all the way from something like 5-second rule, which takes you literally however long you want to play, to an escape room. So we've got like Exit to the Forgotten Island here, which I know escape rooms are getting more and more popular now, and now you can bring that into your home.
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine that you could play an escape room from a little box like that. And I think part of introducing more people to the board game culture in South Africa is also getting beyond the idea that board games are 5 titles that we've played for the last couple of decades. There are thousands upon thousands of games out there. So I said, really, there is a game for everyone. No matter what your niche or particular set of interests are or playstyle is, there is a game for you. And Exit's a great series because, I mean, there's multiple, games within the series. They have difficulty ratings. So depending on how complex you guys want to go with the problem solving and so on. I love the idea that there's a little app that you can download that plays some ambient background music.
So like this one is set on an island, I think. Forgotten Island. So you actually download the app and it plays the sound of the beach in the background and the
adds to the mood. We did the Murder on the Orient Express, and it just plays the train sounds. You hear the whistles going and so on, or there's conductor calling out. It
just builds the experience actually, because I think that's something a lot of people would think. Oh, an escape room needs you to be in an immersive environment. You can make that environment at home, like I said, from a little box. Just from little things like adding an app, adding some ambience, maybe get your friends to dress up. You can actually make a full dab.
What you should do is try and challenge some friends. If you get a copy of this, see what your time was and see if someone else can beat you at it. It's great problem solving. The exact type of puzzles you might imagine that you come across in a physical escape room, you're going to have to solve them here. It's a lot of logic, it's a lot of deduction, it's a lot of abstract thinking. And what's great about the series, you can play it by yourself as well. So if you happen to find yourself with no one around, or maybe you're sick and you need to take the week off, you can't see anyone, but you want to, keep yourself occupied, you can play it. Or, as you say, invite a couple of friends around and play it. And say the different themes, the different complexity levels. Some of them are, follow the theme of whodunits.
Yeah.
Others are you just need to escape, so you have to go through a series of traps and rooms and so on to reach this particular endpoint. So there's all these different themes. I can suggest check it out. Great little series of games. Because what I love about all these games play in such a very different manner. One is a bit more resource management. Some of them can be a bit combo orientated. Some of them are, you're trying to build an engine with cards. Others you have to place little characters on the map to see where they're going. I love Catan because it's like this. It has this random element where you're still rolling the dice. But it's the bartering that takes place. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with Catan, you are settlers on an abandoned island.
And you are missing out.
Yeah. So that's missing out. If you don't know Catan, you should check it out. It's considered to be the grandfather of modern board games. And you find yourself on this island. The island has different resources. And as you're trying to settle this island, you're trying to build roads, settlements, upgrade those settlements into cities. And you're ultimately, like many games, playing towards victory points. But what's great is you roll the dice and then the board randomly spawns these resources.
So no two games are the same.
No two games are the same. The board always looks different with each and every game. And then you get to barter. If I want to build a road, I will need brick and I will need wood.
Yeah.
But
I've only got sheep.
I've only got sheep, or I've got the wheat. So now I have to say, I'm trading this for that thing there. So again, it's that social element that comes in. You cannot operate in isolation. You can do it, but it's going to be
tough.
A very long, drawn-out game. So it's fun, and I think for younger kids as well, teaches them a bit about bartering and economics now. You can trade 1 for 1 or push 2 for 1 if you think you've got the upper hand.
That guy really needs some sheep, and you just need a little bit of wood.
So that game is great. The bartering that goes on is and the banter at the same time. Because it's always like, no, don't do that. I'll do this.
Because somebody else can see that this person's coming around and that's going to mess up their game. And I mean, Catan's obviously also got the competitive element.
Yeah, so you play this game casually, but there is a world championship. People play this game professionally. We have a national championship. It was hosted at Comic-Con Africa in Johannesburg in September. And then the World Championship is every 2 years. So, I mean, when the next leg of events roll around, go try your hand at it, because you could win a trip to go abroad and play in the World Championship. We sent a player to Malta last year and finished in the top, I believe it was in the top 10.
Wow.
It's not just casual, it can be competitive as well.
I think that's a nice element for people, because people feel that you do invest a lot of time into board games, or any kind of, whatever you do in your life, you're trading your time for it. And to have something where you feel you're getting so many different elements from this. You're getting the memories, the time with your friends, the time with your family, and if you want to go further, you can. You never know where these things can take you at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a hobby, and you can engage with it to the extent that you wish. You can get the collector's edition of the board, or you can get the plain version. You can go and get the special accessories, sleeve them up, and the nice dice trays and things like that. So just play casually, or you can play competitively. Like I said, we play Catan every day, and we've got a little money pot running at the moment during December. Every game is a point, and at the end of it, we'll give the kitty to the final winner. So that's just a little thing we did at home.
That final winner can go to Comic-Con and enter and try to win a spot in Worlds. There we go.
Exactly, And you speak about the competitive element, and that's something I love about board games. And I encourage everyone to play games, because apart from the social interaction, there's also the cognitive skills. It teaches you strategic thinking. It teaches you creative thinking, problem solving, teamwork. And especially for younger kids, I think it's the perfect environment to teach people about winning and losing in a closed, constructive environment. If you're perhaps playing sport and you've been gearing up for the sport, this rugby match for the last 2-3 weeks, you lose the game, you're kind of upset about it, because the next opportunity is only a while later. Whereas with board games, I like to sit with people, it's like, okay, where do you think you went wrong? I think I should have done this here, or maybe shouldn't have done that, or I didn't anticipate that this person was going to do this. You can talk through where you think, and it's as simple as, let's reset the board, shuffle the cards, dust
yourself off and get back in.
Here we go again, let's give it another go. And as I said, and when you win, it teaches you to be humble, because if you're not going to be, people aren't going to play with you again.
And also, you're not going to win every time. So you start to realize both ends of the coin. And sometimes it's just not your day, and sometimes it is, and that does teach you a lot about life. Because some days you're rolling a bed and it's not your day.
The best laid plans are not always going to ensure victory, and that's what's great about it. It is random, and you can always just didn't go my way. let's give it another try. Whether that's today or whether it's tomorrow again. You never feel too dejected when you end up losing with board games, because for me, it always inspires me to improve and be better the next time.
Exactly. And next time you get that bad hand, maybe you find a way out of it. And like you said, consistent problem solving, consistent moving forward, consistent learning, which I think is really, really cool. And if you go to your local hobby store, you can find out if they're holding a Catan tournament or if they're having D&D days, whatever it is. You actually meet like-minded people who are there for the same reasons as you. And again, they some of them will be more competitive than others, but at the end of the day, everyone's there over the same passion, and you can bond over that, meet great people, and just have a great time, and give you something to look forward to during the week sometimes when you're just feeling a bit...
Yeah, it's all about playing together. The board games are for families. The games are not something you buy the kids, and it's something for them to keep themselves entertained. A lot of the younger family range of games are simple enough for children to play, but they're complex enough for adults to still remain engaged. It's not you're going to sit there and I have to hold back now. And things. I have a lot of games that I play with my nieces, and the first game is me teaching them, and then the second game is me doing my darndest not to lose to them. I mean, I taught them Ticket to Ride, 2-3 weeks ago, and honestly, it was like from the second game, I was like, I better pull out my top strategies here to make sure that they're not steamrolling me.
Literally.
Because they just picked up on it very quickly.
Yeah. I think the educational element is something that a lot of people forget about, because in like the animal world, play is such an important part of development, and I worry that some of we've forgotten that as society, because we kind of like either leave it to schools to worry about teaching, or we leave it to our screens to teach, and these are things where you can learn and play together, and you're never going to stop learning because there's enough complexity in these games to keep you coming back time and time again.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I'm not a parent myself, but as I said, having played with younger kids, I can tell you, you teach them, but they'll teach you things as well, because they come with a very abstract approach to things, or you sometimes overthink things, and they're like, oh, the solution's very simple. Right, I've seen that with Exodus 1. You're like, you're overthinking the solution, and a little kid is like, it's that simple. It's like, 3 adults sitting here for 10 minutes trying to figure out this clue. The kid walks in and he got to figure it out in a couple of seconds. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. And of course, so with SolarPop running all of this, Wingspan aside, we're going to hide Wingspan behind Ticket to Ride there. You of course have an extra bonus if you're wanting to be picking up one of these games for Christmas, wanting to play this with your family. I know you guys are running another special promotion at the moment.
We are indeed. So it is Christmas. It is the holidays. It's time we're going to be purchasing some gifts, or trying to entertain yourself, or the guests that you've got coming over,
or a bit of both.
And we've got a series of games that if you were to purchase them, you can actually WhatsApp your copy of your till slip to a number which we'll give you just now, and you can win a cruise for 4. There's 2 adults and 2 children.
Wow.
Basically,
bring the board games with on the cruise.
Exactly.
There you go.
And it's a fun little holiday. I mean, the competition is running from now up until the 31st of January. So you've got still practically 2 months left to get your entries in.
So you can literally kill 3 birds with one stone. You can buy a gift now, so you've got Christmas sorted.
Yeah.
You have the time to play it after Christmas, and you can enter before the 31st of Jan and race on cruise.
Exactly, and I mean that would be a lot of fun. As you say, you're going to spend a couple of days on the boat, and take your games with you. There's entertainment again at the same time.
But we'll put all of those details in the description down below. You'll see it up on screen now. I'll share that with all of you guys so you know exactly how to enter this incredible giveaway. But there's some games to be had.
Yeah, I mean there's a large number of retailers across the country that you can enter at, and I mean there's also a number of titles we don't have to mention all of them now. Ticket to Ride is one of them. Catan's one of them. So is Exit. And so is 5 Second Rule South African edition. But I mean there's about another dozen titles and so on.
If you weren't set for Christmas, you now pretty much are.
I think so, yeah. I mean, definitely if you, something I can mention as well, if you go to goplay.co.za, you can find the details about the participating retailers on there as well, the games, and then also a bit more information about the cruise itself. But I think it's an exciting competition, rewarding for people for something I like to think that we're going to do in any case.
Exactly, that's why it's an absolute bonus, because you're going to be wanting to play this stuff over the December holidays anyway. There's only so many video games you can play, only so many laps in the pool you can do before you need to get out and start playing some board games and having fun with your family.
Yeah, so go out there. I wish everyone a merry festive period, and lots of tabletop entertainment for everyone.